Hi, welcome back to my channel. And this is going to be a continuation of the previous video, the sneak peek that I did for Capricorn and Pisces. And if you didn't watch that, go back and watch it before you watch this one. It's going to make sense. And please, if you're coming across this video, subscribe, like, and share it, because that's the only way that the channel gets put across for other people to watch. And I really think this message is important, and anyone can learn from the readings. You don't have to be Capricorn or Pisces, and you could have a friend that may need to hear this. So here we go. So I left off on the previous video with the temptation card. This is for what's on your mind, your thoughts, your thought process. And I clarified. And if you want to watch the video, you can go get more in depth. But we had the Three of Swords, King of Swords, and the World. I clarified this deeper, and this perception card came out in the reverse. This is the source of any problems that you may be facing right now. It's clarifying the temptation or the devil card in the tarot. We're going to take a look at this, and I'm going to read it from the book because there's a lot of information here that I think you need to hear, but it was in the reverse. This is about ending toxic cycles personally and the people around you, if you know somebody that's toxic. And this is a block for you. Now, this may be a little long read, but I think it's important for you to hear. So here we go. So when this card appears reversed, it asks that you check to make sure that your perception is not false. Have you ever had a moment when you believed you smelled onions cooking only to discover that this was not true? That is a false perception. The same thing can occur when your mind is full of chatter that has you believing that another person does not like you or is harboring a particular opinion of you. Be careful that you are not imposing a false perception that others think or feel a particular way about you, when in fact the perception that you have is a self-perception. Do your best not to allow assumption to be the foundation of your perception when it comes to your interactions with others. If you have doubts or concerns about the nature of your relationships with people around you, the best course of action is to ask. That way there's no need to feel stress or worry with what ifs and maybes. The saying, never judge a book by its cover, holds real wisdom, and yet we so often do judge and define things by what we see or read or experience, even when the knowledge offered is in reality only the cover. All too often, we never actually open the book. In fact, we may be unable to open the book because our minds are incapable of conceiving, let alone understanding what lies within. We look at the cover, read the blurb on the back, and make believe we have all the answers when we don't. But we are the book. The person we present to the world is the cover and sometimes the blurb. Friends and family will be offered the contents of a synopsis, but only you know the full story. If you want people to have a more accurate perception of who you are, then make it a point to share the story of you honestly, without embellishment. Then the cover and blurb will accurately represent who you are and make it clear that there is far more for those who are willing to take the time to read the book. In turn, understand that you cannot know the full stories of those around you, and sometimes the cover and the blurb are very different to the contents within, because the author of the story has fears, doubts, and troubles that they are afraid to reveal. Do what you can to open your mind and open that book, even if you only make it to the contents page or the index, and see that there is so much more within than you can imagine. When perception is reversed, this is telling you that you need to release your belief that you know everything about a particular situation or circumstance, or what motivates another's actions. Even let go of the belief that that just because something is deemed fact makes it an absolute. Why? Because all you have to do is to look back at history to see the number of facts that have changed over the centuries as new knowledge came to light. Consider the idea that when we believe that we know something completely and that what we believe is an absolute certainty, we may in fact know very little. Finally, remember that you are more than what others perceive you to be, and in turn, those around you are more than what you perceive them to be. The perception card reverse asks that you do not base your reality on false perceptions born of limited knowledge and understanding. So, this is all about perception, how you perceive others, how you even perceive yourself as how others see you. Now, at the heart of this, which is could be in the subconscious, and maybe something you don't see, often the hidden factors of your situation. And we have the Tower. Now this card, it could be perceptions breaking down, like old beliefs that you had, they're breaking down, and this may cause some fear about this, because when our eyes are open to new information and we start to see that what we believed was false, this can be hard to process. So whatever you're going through, it could be your personal beliefs about yourself, about the world around you, how that affects you and how you interact with other people. Maybe the direction in your life, has been going in one direction, and you find that you need to redirect yourself and learn something new, change careers, be independent, break up with somebody, into marriage, things like that. And I clarified this, and what we found was the Hangman again. You had the Hangman for your present energy, Six of Swords, and here we have the Devil again. Now this talks about you trying to get to the heart of something you've been asking yourself. Now you could be questioning your own beliefs, wondering if they're false. And with this Devil card here, it's kind of hard, it's kind of blocking you. And so if you've been trying to, let's say there's goals you've had that you haven't been able to succeed at, and you're trying to find the answers to that, trying to find the solution so that you can succeed. And there's still this Devil here. It's talking about false beliefs. Maybe you've developed toxic habits, addictions, maybe spiritual attachments that have led you in the wrong direction. And I further clarified it with this deck because these go into more detail. So we have the King of Swords, or King of Air, Queen of Earth, which is the Queen of Pentacles, and I needed one more, so we had Union. Now, with these two, these are two conflicting energies, as I'm seeing with the rest of the cards. And the King of Swords is very analytical and logical, while the Queen of Earth has a more grounded perception in how she lives. She is more, how shall I say, it's more of a nurturing energy. She knows that she has to nurture herself and those around her, and she has compassion for them. And with the King of Swords, it's more of a right or wrong. There's no gray area when there's always a gray area. So those are two conflicting energies. And with the Union card, you're having to find a way to marry these two energies. Everyone has to have earth, air, fire, and water in order to be able to live in this world, because you can't just, not every problem is going to be solved with just logic or just empathy, or you don't always need to take action, physical action on something. So that's where the tower is falling. You're understanding this more now and realizing that you do have to change. So next we have, in the past, we have the Page of Earth, which is you're trying to learn, you're looking closely at the time that you've spent on whatever this is, trying to understand how that has led you to the place you're in right now. And I clarified this with the Moon, the Chariot, and the Seven of Swords. Now I feel like you have been running away, in a sense, of this fear that you've had, and it's caused you to have to hide yourself, hide who you truly are, maybe lie to people because you feel like you've had to because of this fear. And that's what you're trying to analyze with this Page of Pentacles. I mean, you're taking a conscious effort in trying to do this. And for the near future, you have the Moon again. Now, this is also a card of illusions, breaking through that illusion that you've had. The subconscious fears that you're finally taking a look at. And I clarified this to get more information. And we have the Queen of Cups, the Four of Swords, and the King of Wands. Now I see that this really sensitive side that you have, because of these fears, have caused you to, you've actually been hurting yourself and other people because of these fears. And I see with this King of Wands, you may have been masking that with, you know, being outgoing, making it seem like you have everything together. It's like overcompensating for that, trying to cover that up so nobody sees that part of you with this Moon. And it's like just under the surface, though. You only show a certain part of you. You don't ever go or let people see the deeper side of what's going on. Because even you fear that. Fear that people know that this side of you. And it's, I mean, you can find it being very vulnerable is hard for you. But with this Moon card, I see that you're still in that process of unpacking those fears. Now I further clarified this, and I got Four of Wands and the Ace of Swords in this deck in reverse. Now this card, this Four of Wands, talks about you taking action and focusing more on the solution. Now I'm going to read a little bit from this card because I think it'll give you a good idea of how you're to move forward. And with this Ace of Air in the reverse, I'll also talk about that, because I think these two connect together in how the future may turn out for you. And it will probably help you find the answers that you're seeking. So with the Four of Fire, it came up in the upright, so that's good. But it talks about action, concentration, practice, increased skill, and paying your dues, devoting time to regular practice. Be willing and prepared. You have to have, it says, focused mind, emotion, and deliberate action, creating impetus and momentum, establishing a good work ethic, establishing a creative process. This is about showing discipline by devoting regular time and energy to repeated practice and application, which in turn increases skill and ability. And in doing so, it makes one's actions more confident and therefore faster. Goals manifest faster and outcomes are achieved with less energy wasted. So I've really seen a lot about goals here. So this is an answer to, let's say you've had goals that haven't come to fruition. And this is talking about practice and discipline. So with time and practice, a process can become as natural as breathing, and mistakes become fewer. Unlike other animals, humans are not born with the innate knowledge required to survive. To survive, we must both be willing and prepared to learn. And we learn primarily through a process of repetition and practice. Without repetition and practice, we may be able to learn the rudiments of a new skill, but we cannot become brilliant or accomplish it, even if we are naturally gifted. So there's an importance of focus and dedication, discipline and practice on a physical level. And it suggests that we concentrate now and do what needs to be done. The way we improve and achieve things faster is by devoting our attention and focus to practice. There is no such thing as an overnight success. You must first pay your dues to be the best. It takes time. And also, let's take a look at this Ace of Swords we have here. So it came in the reverse. I want to look at this while I read it. The Ace of Air reversed wants to know if you are holding on to outdated beliefs, opinion, or fears that are exerting an influence on your decision-making ability. Past hurts, past failures and mistakes, loss, the thoughts and opinions of others, and fear of upsetting others if we disagree, or choose a way that is different to their own. All of these things can hamper our ability to implement new ideas or a new way of being. Over time, they become impediments that can limit and restrict. This asks that you look within to discover what it is that prevents you from acting. Are your own beliefs sabotaging your future goals? So that's what I see. Now, the overall energy you got for this reading was the Eight of Fire, and this is about taking action. There's a lot of things going on in your life. Maybe it's like maybe there's chaos around you when it comes to the people in your life, and you're having to navigate through that. Maybe it's you finding it hard to be disciplined because you have friends that are maybe a bad influence on you. So you're going to have to really take a look at your circle of people around you, people you hang out with. Maybe it's time for you to move on to a different set of friends. And especially if you have toxic people around you, you're only as successful as the people around you. So let's move on to how you see yourself. And you've got the Queen of Water. Now she's a very empathetic, she has a lot of compassion for herself and other people. And I see a lot of Pisces in this. So you could be this Capricorn and vice versa. This is just how you see yourself. Maybe you are the type of person that when people are in need, you're there and you help them out. Maybe you find that you are doing this all the time or too much. And I clarified this, and we have the Two of Cups, Page of Cups, and the Six of Pentacles. So this talks a lot about being that, like I said before, being that person that is very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very giving, you have a lot of, when you have extra to give, you're there, like I said, you give to people when you have extra time, extra money, whatever it is. And you do this sincerely out of the goodness of your heart, you do. Could you possibly do it so that you could be the hero and it makes you feel good? That could be part of it too. But this connects with the Hangman here, because sometimes you can be the one that sacrifices too much, or be the only one that's sacrificing anything, and you're seeing this. Next we have in the outside influences in your environment. Now this could be the influence you have in your life. Now this is an Emperor. Now this card talks about leadership, authority. You could be the leader in your family, the patriarch. You could be a supervisor in your job. And I clarified this. We have, let's see if I can get this here. The Ace of Wands, Five of Cups, and the Lovers. So to me, I'm seeing that this is more of in your love life, because we have the Lovers and the Ace of Wands. And with the Five of Cups, I feel like you have a lot of regrets, a lot of sadness, and maybe you haven't found that person that you want to spend the rest of your life with. Maybe you're ready to get married and things just haven't worked out. And maybe with this Emperor energy, because the Emperor can be a little bit controlling, wanting things to go a certain way. And when you're in relationships, you're dealing with somebody else. It's kind of like your career. When you have a coworker that you're having to work with on a project or just daily, you're having to work with them. And yes, they may have quirks or whatever, but having to learn how to work as a team is going to have to, if you're really good at that at work, then you're going to need to put those skills into relationships, and know that it can't always be your way. You have to learn to work together and have a goal that you both can work towards together as well. And I clarified this further, and I got, this is the Eight of Wands and the King of Fire, which is the King of Wands. You can see that. But it came in the reverse. So we're going to take a look at this. Now, this is going to connect with the Moon card when you have the Four of Wands and the Ace of Swords, because you also had the King of Wands clarifying the Moon. So let's take a look at those. We're going to take a look at the Eight of Wands first. So the Eight of Wands talks about transformation, action, change, transmutation, rebirth. So change on a physical level it's talking about. And it's talking about it's time to act, give something a new purpose, transmuting negative energy, a renewed sense of purpose. And it's talking about don't be lazy. It says inaction may yield unwelcome changes. So let's see. It says if you need to make real changes in your life, now is the time to do it. No more thinking, no more planning, and no more dreaming. But this came in the reverse, so I'm going to read the potential blockage that you may have. It says, don't halt your own progress or hamper your growth at this time. Even if you may feel a bit lazy or even apathetic, be your own advocate rather than your own enemy and challenge yourself if you find yourself unwilling to act. This card speaks to us when we are experiencing either a lazy mind or body, and it serves as a reminder that there may well be consequences if necessary changes are not made, and that those consequences will be of our own making. If you become a perpetual planner who never follows through, or if you always promise and then fail to deliver, or even if you just feel it is all too much like hard work, this card appears to warn that inaction is also a choice, and one that can have dire consequences. Now is the time to get up and move, to avoid having your life transformed in a manner that is not to your liking. So again, this is talking about you acting on your goals. I mean, this could be your own unhealthy habits that you've developed as it pertains to your personal life, and you needing to do something about it. Like if you have any addictions or unhealthy habits, you need to address that and, ask for help if you need help dealing with those things. Because rarely can we do things on our own or get rid of toxic habits or addictions on our own. So we need help. You need to know that it's okay to ask for that help. Now the King of Fire's reversed. A little bit about the King of Wands or King of Fire in this deck. He's proactive, dauntless, inspirational, vital, powerful, passionate, charismatic, and involved. This is about grounding and focusing your passion. It's talking about every leader is part of a team. So let's look at the potential blockage that you may have. So this is about you and how you influence your environment around you. So that has to do with your family life, your work life, and your personal relationships. So this is a card that speaks of consequences of arrogance, aggressiveness, and an explosive temper. It symbolizes a leader who has forgotten that in order to lead, one must have followers. And if one treats them harshly, they will find someone else to follow. So this has to do with everyone in your life. So your family members, your romantic partners, your relationships in the past, if they've not worked out, you need to take a serious look at that. And it says they will act to replace their king. So they will replace you. So especially in your romantic relationships. That's what I'm getting very heavily. It says, remember, this card is telling you need to remember to keep your temper in check. And now, you could have a temper and not be the type that is very vocal about it. You may not yell and fight physically, like verbally. It may be that you don't do that, but you are angry inside, but you don't show that. You may be vindictive or petty. Those are other symptoms of that. Anger. It says, remember to keep your temper. Think before you speak and act. If you are feeling challenged and close to losing your cool, then step back and give yourself time to calm down. Also be sure to avoid bullying, intimidating people in order to get things accomplished. It will only serve to put people offside and sabotage any chances of success. Don't get caught up in the glory that comes with success. Don't place yourself upon a pedestal and expect to be worshipped, for there will always be someone who is willing to push you from your precarious position. Whoa, okay, that was a lot. And I knew this reading was going to be a lot to unpack, but I know that a lot of people are needing to hear this message. So let's take a look at your possible hopes and fears. Now we have the World card. Now this talks about accomplishments. Could talk about maybe traveling. This is about your goals. I can see that pretty clearly. Your accomplishments. You're hoping to accomplish certain things in your life. Maybe traveling is a part of it. Maybe to get to the point where you can travel as much as you want. And this is also a fear that you won't be able to do that, or that it'll never come. So I clarified that, and I got the Knight of Swords, the Unknown card, and the Five of Pentacles. So this is you wanting to rush. You're wanting to get things moving. You wanting to get to that spot where you have the money, the time to do the things that you want to do. With this Five of Pentacles, you kind of feel, I'm getting a trapped feeling. The Five of Pentacles talks about abandonment. It talks about being not financially in a place where you can do anything other than pay your bills, your living expenses. So I went further and clarified that, and we have the Nine of Wands and the Integrity card. Now we're going to take a look at that deeper too. Let's take a look. A lot of fire I see here. So the Nine of Wands. But they're both in the upright, so that's a good sign. So we have, let's see. So this talks about moving through life with confidence, a time of fruition and attainment. Knowledge and experience brings ease. This is the place that you want to be. This is your hope. This is not seeking praise or affirmation, but giving your best every time and simplifying your life. So, okay, so let's see. The ease that comes with knowing what to do with the knowledge and practical skills earned through study, hard work, and dedication. It symbolizes fruition and putting knowledge and learning into practice. It's about having found and putting to use mental and physical processes that work for you. The process used is executed with ease, and as a result, you create or fulfill your role with the same ease. This is an affirming card that symbolizes moving through life with confidence. The person it illustrates does what they do well and without seeking glory or validation. They do not seek praise or affirmation. They perform their task before them and do it well. They do it to the best of their ability because they have pride in what they do, and when a task is complete, they do not weigh it down with expectation. They detach and move on to the next task because it too deserves all of their care and attention. This card reminds you that ease is not necessarily about life being easy, but about discovering that we can make a choice to not make life complicated. By keeping it simple, you move through your day with ease. Obstacles no longer cause hours of fear and fretting. Instead, you simply work to overcome them. You learn, you grow in experience, and then move on to the next moment. When you are confident and have attained a certain level of knowledge and skill, you begin to move through life with more ease. You learn how to perform tasks in a manner that is less complicated for you. You begin to recognize what works for you and what does not. You attain a certain level of grounded and practical awareness that enables you to bring projects to fruition with the same amount of care, but less effort. So this talks about how to work through any doubts that you have or fears. But you also need integrity when you're doing this. So let's take a look at integrity. This is acting with honesty and honor, walking your talk. You opposing a hypocrisy, dishonesty, cruelty, and injustice. So when you have integrity, you cannot be a hypocrite. You can't be dishonest is what I meant to say. You can't lie, not even to yourself. This is about practical, ethical, honest behavior. And you have to do it for love, not for profit, or not to gain, because you're going to gain something out of it other than the joy, basically. And you have to be the type of person that keeps your promises. So if you say you're going to do something, follow through with that. Avoid gossiping and speaking ill of others. Do not cheat or take the easy way. Do not allow injustice or cruelty toward innocence. Behavior and actions influence reputation. It says, so we all live in glass houses, so avoid judging. This is about making a choice and acting with honesty and honor. Integrity has many forms. There is personal integrity, professional integrity, artistic integrity, and intellectual integrity. To have sound personal integrity is to have high moral, ethical, and personal standards, and to hold true to your core values regardless of circumstances. It is to stand in direct opposition of hypocrisy, dishonesty, cruelty, and injustice, to honor your personal truths. Your words and actions are in harmony and do not contradict each other. In short, you walk your talk. To have sound personal integrity is to be of good character and nature. It is to be authentic and not hide behind any deception or illusion. What you see is what you get. Authenticity is the mainstay of a person with integrity. To have artistic integrity is to do what you love because you love it. Yes, if you are blessed to be able to create for a living, you should do so, but the basis of creation should always be love, not money. A person with artistic integrity would not compromise themselves or their craft for money. They will always give their audience and clients their finest work because when they love what they do, they strive without conscious thought to have their current project or creation be their best. Their heart and passion is always their guiding influence. To have professional integrity is to practice ethical and honest behavior in business. It is to accord fellow employees, employers, customers, and clients respect and honesty. It is to meet one's professional duties in a dedicated and responsible manner, and always perform your duties to the best of your ability each and every time. It is to strive to offer a product or workmanship of the highest quality and to be willing to grow, improve, and refine oneself in order to become a master of your craft or the top of your field of expertise. To have intellectual integrity is to live by the very same standards that you expect others to live by. It is to be consistent and treat all with equality. It is to be just and fair. It is to hold true to your core values in a manner that is consistent and expected. It is to give those around you the same treatment and not play favorites. There should be no arbitrary exceptions, including yourself. There should be no arbitrary exceptions, including yourself. Those with integrity do their utmost to avoid hypocrisy, but also know and understand that some of the beliefs they subscribe to cannot always be honored. They aspire, but they do not always succeed, and this does not make them less, it makes them human. Those with integrity are not perfect. Those with integrity are honorable, honest, and accepting of their imperfect state, and do not strive for an impossible ideal, but instead endeavor to be the best person they can be in all areas of their life. So, and I'm going to read, there's a past, present, and future on here. I'm going to read the future because I think this is what you're striving for. So, when the integrity card appears in the future position, it represents reputation and how a good or poor reputation can affect your future standing at home, work, and in the community. If your reputation is important to you, then it is well to remember that how you behave and act will influence your reputation. If you act without honor and dignity, it will affect your reputation, not only in the short term, but in the long term also. Yes, it is nice to believe that we are unaffected by the opinions of others, and if you have a healthy self-esteem, then others' opinion of you might not have an emotional impact. However, it is not always practical or wise to hold oneself above the regard of others. On a social and professional level, a good reputation helps you move through life with ease. We all like to be seen in a positive light, socially and professionally. A poor reputation can have destructive consequences, especially if your behavior causes those around you to seek another's services or companionship. And I see this talking about your personal relationships, the day-to-day that not the public sees. So if you're accumulating some bad karma when it comes to relationships, then it's gonna bleed out into your public persona, which is your reputation. And so if you're wondering what people really think of you, that's gonna be a deciding factor as well, because people that you have dealt with in the past, even the friends you have now or acquaintances, they talk, they gossip, and you have to think, yes, I know there's going to be people that are going to gossip and talk badly of you because they just don't like you or they're jealous, but also you have to consider that the other side of it, which is the truth. People are going to speak the truth about their interactions with you, and that may give you a bad reputation. So do your best to act and behave in a manner that will serve you well both in the present and in the future. Remember that what you do in the present can come back to haunt you long after you have forgotten any unscrupulous or unwise behavior. Technology has allowed social and business networks to become much larger than they once were. Word of mouth has been superseded by word of status update. As a result, the world is far smaller than it used to be, and a few minutes searching the internet for virtual skeletons in the closet can make or break you if there are skeletons to be found. If you are dependent upon a good reputation, and most of us are, then it serves you well to act with integrity at all times. You realize, okay. And finally, we get to the most likely outcome. So you've been wondering how is all this going to play out? Well, that's up to you. But as I see it now, we have, let's see, to get this card out of here. Okay, the Nine of Cups or Nine of Water. This is about wishes. You have high hopes for your outcome. This is wishes coming true. Maybe your goals are panning out. You're seeing, the light at the end of the tunnel. And I clarified this. Get that out of the way. I clarified this more. We have the Nine of Swords, Two of Pentacles, and the Two of Wands. Now this is you having anxiety, maybe getting over your anxiety and being more flexible in your beliefs, making plans. So that is good. I like that. And I wanted to see what those plans were, so I clarified that. And we have the Chariot, the Hierophant, and the Seven of Wands. Now, two things. This could talk about you knowing that because you need help, if you have any of these old, outdated beliefs, could be even any toxic habits, addictions that you may have. This talks about you having two directions. Maybe you need to do both, but you're considering your plans and how to move forward. With this Chariot, I see that you are ready to to overcome these challenges, and using, if you're religious, being more active with your religion, your church, being more spiritual. And the Seven of Wands, this is you striving to overcome any of the people around you that have been contributing to these toxic beliefs or behaviors, and not letting their beliefs or actions bleed on over to you. You're keeping those people at a distance, which is good, which I talked about earlier, about you having to get rid of the people. I'm not saying getting rid of the people is kind of a harsh thing to say, but you have to put yourself first, and your health comes first. Mind, body, and soul. You have to make sure that your mind is right, your physical health is right, and spiritually, because we can't do things on our own. Not only do we need physical help, other people, but we need that spiritual connection, with God or your spirit guides, whatever it is. We need that help on the daily, because oftentimes we are alone, in the sense that we came into this world alone, and there are a lot of times we are by ourselves, but with that connection, I think spiritually it will help you to get through any challenges that you face. And I clarified that further because I wanted to see what are you going to be working, what are the other challenges that you're going to be working on. And I got this is the 9 of water, but you got this in reverse. And then you have the 7 of air, which is 7 of swords. This talks about beliefs. So I'm going to read these two, and these are going to be the last for the reading, but I think that's important because you want to know, and I'm sure you want to know, like, the possible challenges that you face in the near future. So let's look at the block for this card. I'll turn it in the upright so you can see it. So it says, it signifies a resistance or unwillingness to look at our emotional reactions and accept responsibility for them. Or it could indicate an unwillingness to look at the source of those emotional reactions. We may not want to see the truth. In this instance, we may truly agree with the old adage that ignorance is bliss. However, it is more than probable that we simply tell ourselves this because we're afraid of the pain of dredging up old memories. Instead, this card offers us an opportunity to acknowledge the truth. Embracing ignorance will keep us reliving the pain of the moment again and again until we make the choice to break the cycle by facing that of which we are most afraid. This card asks that you do not avoid what needs to be done because you will experience pain in the short term. The pain will pass and open you to a better, happier future. And next we have the 7 of Swords. This is about spirituality, religion, politics, personal dogma, atheism, fundamentalism, and indoctrination. And it talks about kindness. So it's not what we believe, but how we believe. Lift others up. Does what you believe make you kinder? Are you willing to lose another for your beliefs? There are many ways, not just your way. Educate, don't indoctrinate. Seek a kind approach. Moderate fundamentalist beliefs. So this card symbolizes the realms of spiritual belief, religious practice, and personal dogma, and the influence they have upon how we perceive the world around us. Spiritual belief can make our lives feel complete, make us healthier, happier, kinder, and more compassionate people, and yet It can also place us at odds with others and start wars, both global and personal. It can bring peace and a healthy sense of well-being, or it can literally place you in harm's way and tear your world and life to pieces. Spiritual belief in the form of religion has throughout the centuries been one of the root causes of almost all human conflict, and it is still one of the leading causes of bloodshed in our modern world. There are many who subscribe to the belief that embracing a spiritual path is different to following one of the many organized religions. But consider this: whether you subscribe to a religion or have a more organic spiritual ideology, or even subscribe to atheism, all involve following a personal dogma, a philosophy that can be orthodox and rigid or expansive and accepting. To believe in a religion, to embrace a spiritual path or a philosophy, or none at all, is no different energetically than believing that one political party is better than another, or that a vegan diet is better than one that includes meat and animal products, or that your favorite sports team is the best sports team. All forms of belief can lead to peace and a healthy sense of well-being, or to extreme and fundamentalist behavior. All paths can be born of independent knowledge and understanding, indoctrination, or a mix of both. Each choice, even the choice not to believe in the divine, requires that you believe in something, even if that something is that a belief in anything other than our physical reality is a symptom of a deranged mind. This card reminds us that all personal dogma and spiritual dogma can give rise to an open mind or a closed one to varying degrees. Each path contains core beliefs that won't be changed, or cannot be changed, because to do so would make them something other than the beliefs that are meant to be subscribed to. Therefore, it matters not what you believe in, but how you choose to live and express that belief. How does what you believe on a spiritual level influence your thoughts, feelings, and actions? Does it make you kinder and more understanding of those who are different? Or does it inspire a feeling of superiority, that you are right and that your way is the only way? Does your spiritual path inspire you to lift people up and brighten their day? Or does it inspire you to think less of others or pity them because their ignorance damns them to some imagined hell or purgatory? What are you willing to give up, to lose, because of how and what you believe in? What does your spiritual path or personal dogma bring into your life? This card symbolizes an opportunity to look closely at how your personal spiritual beliefs and personal dogma influence your thoughts and behavior, and to contemplate whether they serve to make you a better person or serve to make you more critical and rigid. So as I said, this is talking about your beliefs overall, spiritual beliefs, religion, and at the bottom of the deck, these are reversed too. I have the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. And I wanted to, this is the last card. I think it ties everything well together. And then we'll be done with the reading. I might give you some more advice if I feel like it needs to be said. So here we have the reverse. So it's the Ace of Earth. This talks about new beginnings, goals, motivation, opportunity, and potential reward, but it's in the reverse. So let's take a look. This signifies that too much emphasis may have been placed on financial reward or career goals to the detriment of other needs and responsibilities. What price are you willing to pay in order to meet your goals? Are you motivated by genuine need, by fear, or by material desires? These are questions you need to ask yourself now. How important is material gain? How fast do you wish to achieve financial security? And for what purpose? This card represents home, family, and career, and a harmonious marriage of the three. While your life may not include all three, be sure that your opportunity to have love and family will not be limited by a path that focuses only on your need for financial security. If you do have family, a spouse, children, or both, or are you putting your desire for financial security before the emotional needs and responsibilities of a partner and parent? Will the plans you have made take you away from family and place undue pressures on your relationships with others? If the answer is yes or maybe, then this card suggests that it is time to rethink your goals or weigh the potential rewards against the potential consequences. Do not act selfishly at this time, or the consequences may be greater than anticipated. Yeah, but I think you can tell this is a theme about the balance of family life and your career, because I see like your career is very focused on wanting to succeed and get further, but is it at the expense of the rest of your life or the other parts of your life? And I see that you've been wanting to maybe get married or have a long-term relationship, and you're going to have to figure out how your goals are going to work with having that long-term relationship. So I want to get a couple of these and then we'll close it out. What advice do you have for Capricorn and Pisces, Sun and Rising signs for this reading? What else can you advise for them? Let's do one more. Oop, one fell out. We'll take that one. And we'll get maybe a couple more. So let's take a look at this one first. So we have, I wonder what will happen next. Ready to adventure, precipice of change, pause before action. So yeah, you're ready for a change. You're ready for maybe to see some results. But like this says, you're having to pause before you act. You're having to have that plan. What it is that you want so that you can make that plan to get there. And it's going to take time, and it's going to take a lot of discipline. That's what I'm hearing. So let's take a look at the next one. It says, oneness is the way. How can you show more compassion and acceptance toward those you don't understand? Again, this talks about your perception. And one more. So law is not justice, rules that are not fair. So maybe this is also connected to maybe social norms. And actually I want to get some more on that one, because that one's a little, this may be like a side note for some of you. So let's take a look. It's wanting to tell us about something. So let's take a look. This is from the Alice in Wonderland deck. So it talks about Alice. Alice is so bravely, as Alice so bravely does, you must speak up and say it is unfair and wrong. It is not right for you to be judged, but another person wishes to do so. Unless you speak up, there could be very strong consequences. When you are told to be quiet and to tolerate the judgments being made about you, this card urges you to speak up against injustice and object to what is taking place. Your opinion of yourself is what is most valuable. You can state your case clearly with the strength and power, and doing so will help you remember just how very strong you are, how very admired you are, how worthwhile and decent you are. You are worthy of respect, fairness, and kindness. If you are being treated poorly, speak up. When you do so, the spell will be broken, and people will see that your side of the story is well worth listening to. Never allow another to steal your self-worth. So someone may have the authority to impose the law, but the law or the rule is ready to be questioned. Following the law even though it is unjust. Condemnation without knowing the full story. Being judged by people who do not know you or have a biased view. You may be judging people you do not understand. So you may also be judging people you don't understand. So be sure to have a fuller picture and avoid condemnation and judgment. Be discerning, but be sure to be fair and just. And that is your reading. I hope you liked it. If you do, please like, share, and subscribe if you like this video and want to hear more. And also, there are links for different things that I'm selling. So if you could go there, check it out, and I will see you in the next video.